Now that the PSVR2 has been out for a little while, folks have had some complaints about the charging kit. They say that it's hard to get the devices to sit in the cradle properly, or they'll think they'll have it in place and then find that it's not charged. Well, today I want to take a closer look at an alternative from a company called Annapro. I'm Ron Burke, editor-in-chief for GamingTrend.com. Let's unbox this alternative to the official charging kit and see what's inside. Well, we're off to an awkward start, and I hope that that's not indicative of what's ahead. I hope this is not a charring station. I really sincerely hope it's a charging station. Considering that is the primary complaint that folks had, was that there were some issues with the charge ports catching fire. It would be very unfortunate if Annapro gave us a charring station instead of a charging one. I imagine these are pre-production units, so there's a very good chance that that's fixed before this gets into retail, or at least you'd hope so. We have a similar sort of setup as what we had on the official kit. We have these little magnetic nubs, although these have a single point, so they'll sit and lock into those ports a little bit more securely, supposedly. And then this, I imagine, is going to sit, yep, because it was incredibly loud and I wouldn't want you to have to hear that. But this is where the headset's gonna sit, for it to sit basically like this. The headset will sit here, and then the PSVR2 Sense controllers will sit right here. So I'm gonna grab those and we'll see how this looks all put together. All right, I've got my headset and my controllers here. So I'm gonna pop out those official ones. You can see the difference here. These have that 3 contact points, whereas this has that large circle with the little spike in the end. I don't know if that's going to be better or worse. I'm not an electrical engineer. I can't tell you. We'll set those aside. These are USB-C, as you can imagine. I mean, why fix it if it's not broken? They'll just push in place like so. And then these do have a marking. There's an L. There's an L here, and obviously on the other side an R for left and right. So this would be the left side. So go ahead and drop that in place. Let's see. Trying to visualize this without looking at the instructions, but it should be, yeah, that was easy. So yeah, that just drops right in place and you can feel it magnetically lock in place. I mean, it's not, you can't pick up the whole unit with it or anything, but you can definitely feel there's some resistance. So you know when you've got it in the sweet spot. I mean, it's really hard to mess this up. So I'd call that good. And then of course the headset simply sits here. There really isn't a good place for the cables. It's not going to push everything out of the way. So that seems like a bit of an oversight on their part. Maybe I can set it there, but that's really where the headset face is going to sit. Because I imagine this is really the intention, but you're still stuck with a whole lot of cable and no place to put it. So I think we're mostly there. We're kind of hitting the spot that they're aiming for, at least with the what you see here, but obviously they have no cable on their example. So, you know, some sort of tether to put this someplace would be nice. Now that I've said that, I'll look at the instructions and see what they suggest. They do not. In fact, once again, they have the PSVR2 with no cable on it, so not a very good example there. They do include a USB-C to USB-A cable, so that's how you're going to charge this. I would imagine you could run this into a brick and run it into the wall, or you could plug it into your PlayStation itself, of course, but that simply plugs into the back of the device right here. And let's see what kind of cable we're looking at here. Hopefully it's got some decent length. This is a lot of real estate being taken up by one device, so yeah, could stand to be a little bit longer than this.
because I mean, if you have this, if you have it close to your system, that's probably fine. But if you're wanting to put it
maybe up on a shelf,
that might be insufficient. Thankfully, these are a dime
a dozen. You can easily get something that'll handle that. And
these aren't exactly high power, so you just have to really replace it with almost any
USB-C cable, and you'll be just fine. So
that's the Annapro.
The next thing I'm going to do is
some quick
comparisons.
For that, I'm going to have to get into some VR. So my job is going to be to run this thing down to 0 and then charge it with the PSVR2 official controller charger, and then do the same thing over again and charge it on this and see if there's any
difference whatsoever. So
montage, be right back.
Welcome back. In our testing, we found that the official PSVR2 charging system takes about 90 minutes to charge the system from completely empty to completely full. The Annapro takes exactly 90 minutes as well. On the front here, what you'll see, there's an orange and a blue light. So you know the orange means that it's charging and blue means that it's ready. Now I did mention that I didn't like the length of the cable. I went ahead and swapped that out. This is a Nope cable, A-N-O-P-E. Gotta love these names. But it is like a 12-foot long or 10-foot long braided cable, and it works just fine with that. So no special cable needed. This one's even USB-C to USB-C, and I adapted it to USB-A. So it doesn't seem to have any problems with using a third-party cable. There is one big difference between the two devices though. The official one will set you back $49.99, and this one will set you back $29.99. They both carry a 1-year warranty, so I don't know, maybe that's a good trade-off. What I found in practice, the cable is kind of a pain in the butt. It would be nice to have some sort of loop or something kind of sticking out to be able to loop the cable, because if I do loop it below here, then it's in the way of the cables, or in the way of the controllers. So maybe for the next version of this, maybe this stands a little higher, or just some way to contain the cables. Otherwise you're doing what I'm doing here, where you're kind of just piling them on top. So overall, not a bad product, and certainly a good alternative to the official one. You might save a few bucks that maybe you can spend on some games. So thank you for joining me for this unboxing and quick review. I'm Ron Burke, editor-in-chief for GamingTrend.com. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you again very soon.